even when they had the first Galactico period with Florentino Perez, they had Beckham, Figo. They were fighting for positions.
Massively underperformed.
The whole Galactico idea is you sign the best player regardless of whether it's a position of need or not. The left wing was never a position of need. Left wing is actually where Real Madrid said, this is our best position.
Yeah.
We have Vinícius Jr. there. So to get Mbappé is such a Galactico mindset where it's like, we're just going to get the best guy available and we'll figure it out because they're too good to not figure it out. And I still have this hope that Mbappe's too good to not make it work playing alongside Vini.
It's been pretty impressive, the start that Liverpool have had to this season under Arne Slot. 14-match unbeaten streak. It's their best league start in club history. Yes, the new manager has done something absolutely unprecedented with this red side. They are the only perfect team remaining in the Champions League, and they could well take top of the table once again, eclipsing Inter. There's been a lot of talk about this Liverpool team and a lot of guys that might or might not be there next season, including Mo Salah. Listen, Mo Salah has been back. Prime Mo Salah. This guy has the potential to have a statue.
Yeah, especially this season. He's plugged in.
Listen, he leads the Premier League in goal. 10 goals, 6 assists. I mean, he looks good when he's plugged in.
Yeah.
First player in Europe to reach 10 goals, 10 assists. He has the most goals in Champions League for an English club also. 8th straight Premier League campaign with 10 or more goals. But there's so much talk about his contract extension seemingly going, and it happened last year also. Darian, how do you think Liverpool is dealing with all of this outside noise? Because seemingly it's not a distraction.
I mean, I would assume Mo Salah is using it as motivation. Like, oh, you don't want to keep me? Watch these numbers. I mean, I think it's a player and a team can take that as something that negatively affects them, or you can use it as fuel for when you're playing, and this team has clearly used it as fuel. And I think that Liverpool would be crazy to not keep him right now. At least another 2 years.
I mean, he looks great.
But a lot of money for a player that's still... How much money does he command now?
$350,000 a week.
Right.
That's the key, right?
How much does pace matter to his overall game? Because he hasn't really lost much of it, right? He's one of the most lightning-quick players with the ball at his feet. And then he goes to Liverpool from Serie A, and he becomes this elite, world-class finisher, which never really was part of his game. He was somebody who was giving you like 14, 15 goals a season, but to go then to 25 to 30, and to do it for so many years consistently, overall he's had great health issues. And I agree with Nico. You'd think that hearing about this contract stuff and that he's not sure what he's going to do would be a distraction, but as you said, tied for what? The best ever start? He's having a brilliant season, so it really isn't. He's in a contract year, just like you, Nico. Last year, you were in a contract year. You were bringing us coffee. You were coming in a little bit early.
Right,
then you sign your big money deal. You're late all the time.
Right.
You stop doing your beard all nice.
Now we see his real personality.
Thing, man. Yeah.
It's hard to have this conversation.
32 years old.
Look at him.
This is a distraction.
That's a superhero.
It's like he's entered the rejuvenation. I mean, look at his hair. Everything's just.
I'm
great.
sorry,
There's
like
literally no body fat.
I don't think I have some of those muscles.
That's extraordinary. Yeah, actually.
I honestly don't think I have some of them.
I'm just going to turn my chair like this and just keep staring.
Yeah, I hope my wife's not watching.
No, but in all seriousness, though, I know we make fun of it. That's not just that just doesn't happen.
Most young players don't look like this.
He's a guy that works and that's getting better and that understands the dedication to the trade, and he took his shirt off, and I mean, I would take my shirt off if I was putting in all the work.
Are you kidding me? I'd never wear one.
And then to deliver. That is extraordinary.
I'd have a tie around my neck and a blazer over it, and that's it. No shirt. If that's what I look like, ridiculous. I mean, at the end of the day, football isn't a sport where you pay for someone for what they've done. You pay someone for what they're going to do. And he's already given you this. Can he continue? That's the risk you have to take. Is he playing this way because it's a contract season, or is he playing this way because this is who he's going to be for the next 2 to 3 years?
And look at who they signed in the summer.
He's going to be.
Yeah.
When you're an older player and you're looking
32.
like this,
So you think he's
older
Ronaldo?
Than me.
He's Ronaldo.
But you look like this at that age, and the talks of you being out of your prime and what are you going to look like next year? This is more trustworthy than signing a younger player. You know someone who's
I couldn't disagree
he's
more.
going to take care of himself.
In the summer, they
You know
signed
that
Federico
mentally he's there
Chiesa.
as well.
No, who hasn't barely played.
No, but Chiesa's, even Slot said this guy can't deal with what we require from him in training. But I think when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, this is the natural post-Salah player. He's playing in that same position. He's coming in for an incredible bargain. This is a player that a few years ago you thought 60, 70 million euro, and he's coming in for, I think, 10 or 12. So right away when I saw that, I thought, okay, well, this is obvious. Salah's going to have his last year. Chiesa's going to step in. But right now, that's looking a bit murky because Chiesa can't even get on the pitch.
Yeah, clearly Salah knows his worth, and the negotiation is probably going to have to be for a lower salary
Also,
wage.
they've got two other players that as soon as if they collapse, if they offer him a big contract now, they've got two other players, Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold, who may be asking for the same thing, which blows apart the whole FSG system. We understand that this club, especially hiring Michael Edwards again, this isn't a sabermetric-y system. This is a XG system in which they buy and pay players. They didn't want to blow past the 200,000 per week number for Mohamed Salah. They go and do that because he is that player. And you know what? You'd have to spend more than that to get a player of his ilk. But once he asks for the same thing at 32, you have to make a business
they
decision.
couldn't realistically
And I'm afraid
replace
But for a football decision, I think you can make an exception for Mohamed Salah. So
100%.
moving it on over to the game today, because they have a tough test in Real Madrid, probably tougher for Real Madrid just given their form. But they figured something out this weekend. So they said, hey, Kiki, go back on the left where you like to play. No Vinícius, he's injured. That's a big one. No Rodrigo, right? So Real Madrid at Anfield with Kylian Mbappé on the left. Do we think that Real Madrid, despite all their woes, have a chance of winning at Anfield?
Yes, of course.
Well, don't do this. Put Mbappe on the left, and I think you have a better chance.
Right.
Diaz is supposed to play the false nine. That was the report said Güler and Diaz, or maybe it would just be Bellingham and one of Brahim and Güler, and Bellingham would have that role from last year where he crashes into the box. But Mbappe, of course, his positioning. We all know he likes to play on the left. He likes to cut inside and run at defenders. Some of his touches, some of his decision making, some of his misses are not just down to positioning. Obviously, positioning is a big part of it. Every player wants to be where he's at his best. But now, you have to deliver in a game like this, right? This is why they paid the money for him to deliver in the biggest Champions League moments in his favorite position with no Vinny there. There's no more excuses. If he looks like the Mbappe that we've seen for most of the season in his best position, then suddenly you're starting thinking, okay, well, maybe this is a much tougher transition than we all thought it would be.
I think it's so simple. Play a player where he's most comfortable, where he's, at that one point the best player in the world. That makes all the sense. That makes all the sense in the world to me. Just play him on the left.
When they beat Leganés this weekend, they had Vinícius healthy. Vinícius gets injured in that game, right? And Vinícius was playing centrally.
And they combined.
They combined, but how often is Vinícius going to sacrifice not playing on the left, where he is also close to being the best player in the world on the left-hand side? And that's why you saw in our projected 11, if we can look at that again. How does Ancelotti figure that out today? Because who's his 9? Is it Brahim Diaz at a false 9? But Brahim Diaz is better on the right.
Are you saying that if they start Mbappe on the left instead of Brahim Diaz, which is what you see here, and he continues to play well, that when Vinícius comes back from his injury, there's going to be a bit of an issue here?
Well, I think that's the whole topic. One of the topics on why Real Madrid hasn't been so great, it's because the front three haven't found that great understanding, right? And is Vinícius, although he was great, like someone's going to have to be second
Vinícius
fiddle.
There's no way they're going to sacrifice Vinny. What are we talking about?
Right.
People thought Vinny was going to win the Ballon d'Or.
You're saying positionally.
Positionally is what I'm saying, not on the bench, but positionally,
Vinny's
right?
not going to play false nine. Vinny's always going to play on the left wing.
I don't know.
I don't know. He played against Leganés. They put Mbappé on the left and they put Vinícius central, and it worked.
I actually think he's great in the false
We know,
nine
but
position.
Vinny's not a striker.
And he's proven the amount of layups he's given to Mbappe and how he's orchestrated being more the link in the attack. He's already taken that on. I don't think it would be any loss to him and his pride to be a false 9 and let Mbappe take the left.
Or not even false 9, just
This is a question
9.
of ratio, right? For me, it's a question of ratio. If Mbappe starts on the left, he's more comfortable. Vinny seems somewhat comfortable being a false 9. Probably not as comfortable as he is on the left. But if you're going to swap throughout the game, if you're going to play that, then at some point, as long as Mbappe's there more than Vinny is, you're better off.
This is what happens with the Real Madrid Galacticos. Even when they had the first Galactico period with Florentino Perez, they had Beckham, Figo. They were fighting for positions.
Massively underperformed.
The whole Galactico idea is you sign the best player regardless of whether it's a position of need or not. The left wing was never a position of need. Left wing is actually where Real Madrid said, this is our best position because we have Vinícius Jr. there. So to get Mbappe is such a Galactico mindset where it's like, we're just going to get the best guy available and we'll figure it out because they're too good to not figure it out. And I still have this hope that Mbappe's too good to not make it work playing alongside Vinny. These are two of the best players in the world.
And the expectations don't change. Real Madrid always is expected to be at least in the final or win the Champions League. And whoever plays right back today for Liverpool, either Connor Bradley, probably not Trent Alexander-Arnold, as warned by Arne Slot, is going to have his hands full because Mbappe is coming full force down that left-hand side.